Hello everyone, welcome back. We're here today, as I've said earlier, we're talking about the huge event that's coming in October, the Historic Preservation Conference, October 19th through the 22nd. And I'm filling in for Laura Mandela. I'm sure she's watching, so I just want to say hi to Laura. Tonight, we've got two really interesting people because they both are working with volunteers, but I think in really kind of two different ways. At least that's the way I picked up on it. Our first guest is LOUISE YOTS, who is the coordinator of volunteer services for the Preservation Conference, and Cindy KINCAIDE, who is the director of the Buffalo Ambassador Program. LOUISE, I'm going to just talk to you a minute because I found it interesting in getting a little background on you that in 2003 you created and founded the Greeters program in Niagara Falls. And that was a I worked in Niagara County, so I know that it was a very successful program. Now you are coordinating the volunteer services for this huge conference. How did this all come about?
I don't know, I think in another life I was always a volunteer, giving my time, my energies, my money.
Once a volunteer, always a volunteer.
It's just part of who I am, I think, but being a native of Niagara Falls and running a hospitality business for 17 years in Niagara Falls, I was well aware of the needs that were there for people coming into our city, especially during the summer season. And I think it came about as an idea because the city was going through a transition at that time about trying to decide if they needed more signage on corners, and I think it only complicated things for the visitors coming into our area. And so I created this program that I thought, what better way to welcome people into our community than to have volunteers on the corners, where they could be knowledgeable about what they were to expect, being able to give directions, where basically the first question would be, how do we get to the falls, kind of thing. So I thought, well, you know what, it's time for them to have volunteers of every way of life that could give back a little bit. And I created the Niagara Greeters program. And I was sponsored by the Niagara Tourism and Convention Corporation. And I worked with them for 7 years, and it was a wonderful learning experience for me. But it was my way of giving back a little bit, but I had so many volunteers that wanted to do their share as well.
So how did you get involved with this national conference? Well,
I think I sold my business in Niagara Falls, and I was retired for about 4 months, and someone found out and decided that I should be back to work again. And my husband is involved with the preservation group, and I understood that they needed someone with a little bit of background on coordinating volunteers, and I was willing to step up to the plate and see if I can help.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Now, what role will you actually play with all these volunteers? I'm hearing hundreds of volunteers going to be needed for this conference. How do you coordinate something like that?
I heard that too, that there were hundreds of volunteers. I didn't have nearly that many in Niagara Falls, so it's a little overwhelming. But Cindy and I we've become instant friends, and we're going to work together in trying to coordinate and get the word out and to map out what exactly the volunteers are going to be doing. And I think we both bring a lot of expertise to this task, and that will help, and we both have experience in the training and coordinating, and we'll get the word out as to how we want to go about having volunteers assist us.
Cindy, I went online to get a little information about the Buffalo Ambassadors. I have to tell you, I thought that I was pretty hip on what's going on, and I really didn't. I kind of knew, but I really didn't know. Can you tell me what are Buffalo Ambassadors?
Well, the term ambassador is just a friendly face, a welcoming face for someone who's coming to the area from out of town. And the Visitor Center, that used to be the Convention and Visitors Bureau, had an ambassador program many years ago, and they had a concierge service that they also provided to conferences and events that came to Buffalo, where even though you have a concierge in your hotel and you have a concierge desk at your convention center, it really wasn't enough to greet thousands of visitors at a time.
Sure.
And so we amassed a group of volunteers. We have about 130 volunteers that for any given event, they will man a desk at any of the host hotels and just be. Do you need a map? You're looking for, transportation services. You want a good place to eat. And through the visitor center and our members and partners, we're able to provide all kinds of materials for folks.
Now, how are you going to take all of that and use it with the conference?
Well, we're very excited. I mean, first of all, we sat down and we said, okay, we have very specific needs for volunteers. So the conference, while it really starts on the 19th, our visitors will start to arrive Sunday night, and Monday will be the first of the sessions. So we'll have volunteers at the host hotels and then at the convention center from 7 in the morning on Monday, the 17th, right up until the conference ends Saturday at noon. And so we'll have them all over. So that is one way we'll be using our volunteers. Louise mentioned the street team, and that's for people just to kind of welcome guests that are walking down the street with that look on their face. But also, I'm staying at the Hyatt and we're going to Shays. How do I get there? I mean, because we're really, encouraging folks to walk. So we will have greeters on the street that will be helping folks, and they'll be identified. And then we have a lot of just ad hoc opportunities in special places like the church, for example, where we'll want volunteers there. At Kleinhans, there's going to be buses going this way and that way, so we'll be using our volunteers that way as well. But we're very excited. We'll have opportunities for inside volunteers, outside volunteers. We've already gotten some requests from some groups, school groups, businesses that want to get their employees involved.
Sure.
And so, basically there will be some, we're not just going to take anybody. You've got to go through some training, and you'll have to sign up, fill out an application and whatnot. But,
what kind of skills are you looking for?
Well, there's a variety of skills. I think most importantly, you need to know your way around town, because people are going to be asking for directions. But also, comfort in talking to people. If you're outside, you need to be able to stand, etc. 3-hour shifts.
So you're going to need a lot of volunteers.
Yes, we are. We're not turning away anyone.
So how do people sign up for them?
There's a couple of ways. You can go to our website, which is visitbuffaloniagara.com/ambassador. And that's one way you'll sign up. You'll fill up a form, and then we'll follow up with you. And then people can call me directly. My number is 218-2943.
And I'm assuming, and you know what happens when you assume, but I'm going to assume anyway, that if they contacted anything else that they've seen today in this program, that they would link you. They would link
all roads lead to Rome, or
the
Buffalo in this case.
Right?
Yeah. Right, that's correct. Yes.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, what an opportunity for Buffalo.
I'm excited because
I can tell you are.
Well, here's the thing. If these 2,500 people who love history and arts and architecture come here, and we deliver on our promise, which is this is the destination, they're going to tell their friends.
Right.
And so and also people who aren't familiar or forgot about Buffalo.
Well, I can't thank you enough for being here. You're both enthusiastic people that I'm sure there's going to be people out there that are going to want to do this. We're
excited. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks.
And everybody that's been watching, thank you so much for watching. And I hope that every one of you get an opportunity at some point to participate in that conference. Thank you, and bye for now.